Welcome to the launch of the all-new 2011 Ford Explorer. Now, we do mean all new. This car has been very much redesigned from start to finish. This isn't just some sort of reimagined version of an older concept. What they did is they actually changed this from being an SUV and it's now a crossover. What that actually means is that it's now based on a car platform. It's no longer based on a truck platform, so it gets a fully independent suspension, and it also makes for a more car-like driving experience, which is in Ford's experience, and I think in our experience too, is what consumers are really looking for. They want something that's big and manly looking and can really do the off-road stuff when you need it, but it's more conducive to everyday living. The interior of the new Ford Explorer is really sort of highlighted by technology. Most important of that, and sort of the central point of the cockpit, is the My Ford touch system. Now what that is there's a great touch screen here in the middle, but it's more than that. You've got these knobs on the steering wheel, these sort of five-way controllers like a video game that allow you to scroll through all your different programs that you want to do, either on here, or there's actually these programs that show up on these great LCD screens on the dash that have a great sort of visual appeal to them and really give a high quality feel to the cabin. As for the driving experience of the new Ford Explorer, well, that's where the whole crossover aspect really shines through. Compared to some traditional SUVs that still feel very much like you're driving a truck, the Explorer feels mostly like a car. It's actually quite stable on the road, there isn't a lot of body roll, and we're even surprised with how good Ford's electric power steering is. And Ford believes, and we have to agree, that most people are really looking for a more car-like driving experience, along with the more car-like fuel economy, which the Ford Explorer also delivers with that new V6 engine. So what's very important about this vehicle, along with the new underpinnings, is a new Ford engine. Now, Ford's gone through a lot of changes recently, and one of the big things they're doing is downsizing their engines or using the turbocharged EcoBoost engines. That hasn't come out for this yet, but it will in the near future. In the meantime, the launch engine for this car is a new 3.7-liter V6. That's actually the engine first came out in the new Mustang and won a lot of praise for that. It makes 290 horsepower and 255 foot-pounds of torque, which is pretty solid, and Ford said that's actually 2 horsepower less than the current V8 that's offered, but it gets 32% better fuel economy. Compared to the old 4-liter V6, it gets 25% better fuel economy. We're looking at 25 miles per gallon on the highway or 17 miles per gallon in the city. On this all-wheel drive model, it's 23 miles per gallon on the highway, and really the all-wheel drives are what Ford's really pushing at this event. It's sort of the hallmark of this vehicle as an SUV. They're trying to show off the capability, so we're going to do a lot of that today. All right, we're here now trying to take the brand new Ford Explorer, the crossover, not the SUV, off-road to see how it handles. And we're instructed by our lovely friends at Ford here to drop it right into the mud and ruts mode. There's also, if you see here, that's for sand, and then we got another setting for snow. So we'll put it back in mud and ruts, and away we go. So what's the ground clearance on this?
Right at 8 inches.
And that's the same essentially as the previous. So this is pretty impressive if you look at the size of the bumps we're going over and the ground clearance, and we're not even, we're going pretty slowly, and you could go a little quicker with a bit more experience, but we're not even getting close to touching the scrape in the front bumper at all. I'll eat. That's incredible. No problem at all. Now we're good and dirty. So it'll just hold it. You don't need to. You almost can't see where you're going so steep. That's incredible. And what kind of angle is this? No? You feel like you're going straight down. Turn off hill descent control if you want to. That was extremely impressive. So, along with being a whole lot of fun, that showed some real great capability of the new Explorer. What's possibly even more surprising than the ability to go down the hills and traverse some pretty large bumps and explore just the ride height, the full ride height of this car, is in comparison to how nice it was on the road, it's equally as capable on the road, how nice it feels. And so it does a great job of being capable off-road, but really delivering a nice, solid car-like on-ride feel. It's still different from a lot of its competitors that are traditional SUVs. So we've already taken Ford's new Explorer off-roading, exploring the mud setting on the car, which allows you to do some pretty decent off-roading. It's for mud and ruts, some big holes that we came across on our trip. Now, this latest test out here, you're seeing guys test out both the sort of two extremes of the terrain response system, and that's the snow setting as well as the sand setting. Now, the snow setting, which was probably first in there, it really sort of limits you a lot, which is what you want on the snow. You want everything to kick in, make sure you've got a lot of great grip, but it also means there's a lot of traction control and not a lot's going on really to help you on those snowy days. But for sand, you need to keep your speed up. And as you can see now, he's got the sand going on, and you're really able to throw some snow up. You can actually drive the car with the rear end, which is a lot of fun. You can really play with it in that setting. So it's attempted to show the sort of expanse of the new terrain response system, how it can really go from many different ways. And Ford designed this system to be something that was easy for people to understand. So rather than high 4, high low, regular consumers really didn't get those features. So they decided, let's make it so regular consumers can understand. And when you're on sand like that, well, you just hit sand and it's simple enough. So the sun is quite literally setting on our day with the brand new Ford Explorer. And in conclusion, we have some things we liked about the car and some things we don't like about the car, which we just want to wrap up. For starters, there are a lot of great new features. I mean, we really love the crossover aspect. We like that it's much more user-friendly on an everyday basis for driving around, your regular urban routine. And we just feel more comfortable in it, and a lot more drivers will feel comfortable driving this vehicle around. Another great feature is that fuel economy with 25 miles per gallon on the highway, which Ford says is 2 miles per gallon more than any of the competition. And finally, after having taken it off-road and really seen what it can do, we're really impressed that despite being a crossover, a soft roader, if you will, it's still quite capable off-road. The hardcore off-roaders are definitely going to be offended by this car and will think Ford's turned their back on them. But as Ford mentioned to us today, they said that essentially nobody who owns a Ford Explorer right now takes it rock crawling or really true off-roading, so they're really not worried about alienating that group of people. Another issue we do have with the car is the tow rating. Now, it's set at 5,000 pounds, which is actually pretty good, but that's like a solid 2,000 pounds less than comparable models like the Dodge Durango or the new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Again, Ford says they did their research and consumers don't actually care about that. At least they don't use it. They said that the amount of current Ford Explorer owners who tow more than 5,000 pounds is 0.04%. So basically, it just doesn't matter. So Ford has crunched their numbers and they've done their homework and they've built the brand new Ford Explorer. It's a crossover, not an SUV. And that means that it coincides with what Ford believes people are looking for in a vehicle and what actually we at AutoGuide think people are looking for in a vehicle. And that's, improved fuel economy and the better drive quality of a vehicle like a crossover. It's more like a car. At the same time, Ford has built this to be a just-in-case vehicle. That means it can go off-road just in case you need to. It's got 7 seats just in case you need them. So that being said, Ford looks to sort of rejuvenate the Explorer name and the brand, bring it back to what it once was, and we'll probably be looking at seeing a lot more Explorers on the road in the near future.